What's going on, everybody? Well, I know there's a lot of people that have a bunch of different things to say about different things when it comes to fishing, but in all honesty, I do them both. I like gear rods and I like fly fishing. Right now, I'm gonna go throw the gear rod and see what happens. I figured I'd come back and grab my phone. I caught a little 8-incher a little while ago after crushing it this morning on the fly rod. But just in case you were wondering, when you're doing fly fishing versus gear fishing like this, if you're throwing streamers, you want to work the rod the same as you normally would with a gear rod, okay? You want that jigging action, you want that jerking action with the rod, kind of like this, you know? You want to do that, and that's going to help get your fly to look more realistic. Same thing with gear fishing, all right? So if I catch a pig, I'll queue up and show you guys, all right? Other than that, you take care. I'll see you next time. So there's something I want to share with you real quick if you're gear fishing on a river. This river right here is literally about 1.5 to 2 feet deep in most areas. And I'm using probably an 1/8 ounce spinner. So you got to remember, when you do your cast, you got to be ready to flip your bail and reel in right away, okay? Because it's going to sink to the bottom quick. And then, like I said, just give it a little jig and jig and jig, or a jerk as you're reeling it in, and you're good to go. If you happen to hang up on a rock, don't just sit there and yank like you normally would kind of want to do, okay? You want to walk upstream and get it to where you're walking all the way upstream, so that if you're hung up down there, you can pull back upstream and it should break your leader loose and stuff like that without losing your spinner, all right? So I figured I'd share that with you, all right? Like I said, I catch a pig, I'll queue up, all right? In the meantime, take care. And one more thing. You see that rock right out there? That little tiny one? You see that little itty bitty soft water behind it right there? That's what you're aiming for. You get right behind the rock with your cast, and chances are something's gonna eat it in that hole. It's not a guarantee, but that's exactly what you're aiming for. Now, this river happens to be nicknamed the 60-mile riffle, and there are fish everywhere in this river. But when you are fishing, those are your target zones, and that's basically what you want to shoot for, all right? So let's give it a couple of casts, and I'll see you guys in a sec. Well, it's definitely not a pig, but we did get a little rainbow. So I'll see you guys later. Take care. So in all honesty, it never really matters whether you're fly fishing on nymphs, dry flies, streamers, or you're gear fishing with a Rapala or a spinner like what I'm using right now. When you look at pylons like this on bridges, those are prime spots. Most people try to get right next to the pylon wall, or if you notice behind it, you know how the water slows down? That's usually where fish are gonna hang out. You gotta remember, fish are lazy, okay? A lot of the times they don't wanna chase nothing or nothing like that. They want something coming swimming by or floating by for them to eat, okay? Now, the next time I get hung up on a rock, I'll queue up and show you what I'm talking about when I mean walk upstream instead of just yanking on your rod, because you might snap your lure off, and if it's your only one, that's a bad day, especially if it's been a big hit, all right? So we'll move on to the next spot. Now, this happens to be a situation where it's out of control, okay? Now, in case you haven't noticed, you see that little orange thingy right there? That right there is a strike indicator for fly fishing. It looks like somebody lost their whole setup right here. I happened to swing by on my cast and snag up on it, so there's a chance I might lose my lure. But what I want to do, since I'm not wearing my waders, really not a smart idea right now, is I'm going to go ahead and straighten out my rod just like that, so that I don't put the stress on my rod, and then I'm going to yank, okay? Now I'm going to lock my hand around my line to go ahead and yank it, and we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'll flip the camera around so you get to watch this. So you see what I got going on right there? I'm going to go under. There's the line right there, over my ring finger. I'm gonna go under and then over one more time, and I'm gonna lock it to my rod. I'm gonna straighten my rod out just like that, and I'm gonna give it a pull. Because if there's anything that's gonna break, it's gonna be that fly line tippet instead of my rod line, because that fly line tippet is really, really soft. So let's go ahead. Oh, there it went. and I lost the whole lure. And sometimes that happens. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go retie, put my waders on, catch that one more time, and see if I can yank it and get it out of the river, all right? So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, well, I came back to my bus to go ahead and retie, but I'm gonna show you the knot that I use. I use this for streamer fishing and gear fishing. It's very simple. You take your line, do an overhand knot like this, okay? Just like you were gonna do a granny's knot. You're gonna take your lure and you're gonna put it right through, just like that, okay? And then you take your tag end of your line, as soon as my lure stops stabbing me, you take your tag end, okay, and you put it right back through this same loop. Make sure you're coming out on the top, the same side you're coming out when you go to the bottom. Cinch that up really, really close like this, okay, just like that. You can see that. And then you're gonna take this and go 1, 2, back over the line. And on your third one, you're gonna go back through this loop right here, just like that, okay? Just like that. Grab it with your teeth and make sure you wet this, okay? Because if you don't wet this, it breaks down the structural integrity of the line and makes the line weaker, all right? So, go ahead and spit on it and yank, okay? Just like that. And there's your loop knot right there. That easy. That way everything can go ahead and move, all right? So I'm gonna go see if I can grab my stuff. I gotta put my waders on. All right, so you guys saw me go ahead and snap that off, so I went ahead and retied. I'll show you how I did that real quick. I'm gonna see if I can catch that again now that I got my waders on, so I can get in there and get that out, because I never really liked gear sitting in the river too long. From a rock. So I'm going to keep trying to cast to see if I can grab that indicator and see if my other spinner's still attached to it. Make sure you got a good setup for this too. This reel's a little beat up, so I got to put the bail manually. Lucky enough to get this hooked again. Well, as you can see, trying to be a badass, trying to get your stuff back doesn't always pay off. That's 2 spinners, so that's about $9 right there. I'm gonna go tie on one more and just keep fishing, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed the footage. If you got any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. If you liked anything on this video, including me just losing stuff for fun, or recoveries, let me know, all right? So, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you did like anything, and then share it with a friend, and I'll see you guys next time, all right? Take care.